Today is day 7. I'm trying to become a professional day trader as somebody who's brand new with no experience and no positive track record whatsoever. So right now I'm using ThinkorSwim's paper trading platform to trade every single day that I can, and I'm documenting every single trade, doing a screen share while I'm doing it, so you can watch every single position that I take, watch every single positive trade, every single losing trade, every single day where we don't trade at all. I'm documenting everything, so that way you can see what it's like for somebody who's brand new that literally knows nothing and has no idea what they're doing, except for what I've seen just in studying and reading and looking at a lot of charts and watching a lot of videos. You're going to be able to see exactly how this all unfolds, and we're going to find out if one day I have what it takes to actually fund an account and grow a real portfolio as a day trader. And as you can probably tell from the title down below, today we had our very first red trade, meaning the very first trade of this entire experiment, the first time we've had a losing trade. And I've got the live footage from that happening so you can see exactly what went down and why we wound up having a red trade. But it wasn't all bad. I was able to find an additional entry. We took another trade and things turned around a little bit for us. So we're going to dive into live footage right now on my screen, and I'm going to let you watch back every single thing that happened in the moment, real time when it happened. All right, so we got ThinkorSwim loaded up here. This is what I'm looking at today. This is the main one I'm going to be watching, MDWD, and it's gapping up on news, fits all of the criteria, sitting at right now about $20 a share. So my criteria is I'm looking for anything from $5 to $20. Definitely looking to stay away from stuff underneath $5, like the other two things that popped up on the scanner, which were QLGN and MICS. So those over here, I guess I'm kind of watching them, but really this is where I'm going to be focused on. And we're seeing a little bit of a pullback right now. So it would be really, really good to see if this is going to start to trend back up after this little bit of pullback here. We're sitting at about 9:27 in the morning right now. So market's going to open in about 3 minutes. Chart just looks really, really clean for the most part all morning. So we have this nice move up on its increasing volume through here and then decreasing volume as this sells off. And then it's starting to increase again as it's coming up right here a little bit, and we break over that VWAP. So this is all looking really, really good to me. The one-day chart is not beat up. The one-day chart is trending up. So I'm happy to see that. And the 5-minute chart is really, really clean. Doesn't give us anything to be afraid of either. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and we'll see what happens when the market opens. And hopefully we get an opportunity. We see a good entry, and we can try to make something happen here. And if we do take a position, I think I'm going to take a smaller share size on this. I would normally do 10,000. I'm probably going to do 1,000 because the price is quite a bit higher. I'm thinking the break of this psychological 2050 level could be really, really good for us because we had we topped there, we topped there again, and we've got psychological resistance there. So if we can break through that, I think that's going to be a really, really good entry because right now we have that little bit of an entry forming here, but it's not quite there yet. Yep, we're starting to push above that level, so I think we're going to go ahead and look for an entry here. And it won't fill because it's pre-market. So it'll show me the order, but it won't show me that the order actually filled. So now it's not going to fill until the market actually opens. So where would I have gotten in if I click back over here real quick and we look at this? I would have gotten in at 2110. Is where we would have entered with a stop loss of about, well, with a stop loss of close to $1 with a slightly smaller position. But that was the entry I wanted anyways. So now we've got market open. We've got a whole load of volume there. And let's see if that can continue to push up. So we pushed up to about right here. We got a whole mess of volume coming in right here, and it's going down. So at this point, I would have just gotten out. I would have bailed out, sold on the bid. We'll look for another opportunity. Obviously, that trade it didn't go through because I forgot the pre-market. It wasn't going to fill. Yeah, that kind of sucks. So we sat there. I guess we watched what would have happened. I guess if it did fill, then we would have bailed out right here. So that would have been a loss there. That would have been a red trade. But we had the entry we were looking for. And then I could have probably, how high did we wind up going on this? We wound up going to 2130, which is our profit target. So if it were to have filled instantly, then we could have taken profit at the very, very top. But the likelihood we would have filled there is very small. We could have attempted to. Okay, so I'm going to pop in from the future here real quick. I did go back and look at the recording of exactly what happened there because I made the commitment, I made the decision to hit that buy button. So ThinkorSwim in their paper trading simulator doesn't allow you to actually fill orders in the pre-market or after hours, which is kind of annoying. But I had forgotten about that at the time. I hit the button, made the commitment. So if this was real life trading, then I would have filled that order and I would have been in at 1,000 shares at $21.10 a share or somewhere right around that area. And I've got the spreadsheet opened up here after looking at the recording and seeing that I would have gotten in at about 9:29 a.m. with those 1,000 shares at this $21.10 mark. And then looking back at the chart at right at the moment where I said, okay, I would have gotten out, I would have sold at the bid. For that 3 to 5 second window there, the bid was sitting at $20.33. We got a whole mess of volume coming in right here, and it's going down. So at this point, I would have just gotten out. I would have bailed out, sold on the bid. So if I were to get out of the position completely at that point, that's where we would have filled from selling on the bid to get out quickly to bail out. And it would have netted a $770 loss, which is the very first red trade, as you can see by the spreadsheet here, of this entire experiment, of this entire journey of getting started here in day trading. So I'm just going to pull the chart up here from the future to look at this again. So this top chart here is MDWD from today, the 1 minute chart. And we can see I got in, right? We can see when it broke that high. Now, it actually broke this high that I was going after quite a bit lower, but because that spread was so large, it jumped up really, really quick. I mean, it was like an instant move from, right at and testing breaking that high to when it actually broke it. It was an instant jump. So by the time I hit the button, we were all the way up at $21.10 already. And in real life, that's where I would have filled. That's when I hit the button. Maybe I could have gotten a fill at a little bit of a cheaper price. I don't know. The trade didn't actually go through. So the best assumption I can make is that it would have filled right there. This is obviously in anticipation that this move is going to continue. We're going to build some momentum and we're going to keep going up. That was the thought process behind the entry and taking this position. That obviously didn't happen. Now, I also see where, right, my stop loss we had stated was going to be about $1 lower, so $20.20. So technically, I didn't actually follow the rules when I had said to bail out, which I'm not happy about that part. Overall, I'm just not super satisfied with the execution of this particular trade. And that's just simply because I didn't get, not because of the entry, right? I'm totally content with the entry. I made the decision. Everything was there on the chart in terms of what I'm looking for. We had the volume, we had the movement, we had the break of the position we were looking to break. We didn't get in early. We didn't get in any later than we really could have. Obviously, earlier would have been better because we would have been that much cheaper, but there was no way to see that we were going to break that until we did. And that just happens to be where it jumped to. And then where I'm unhappy with the trade is that I didn't stay in it and I didn't stick to what I was supposed to do. I didn't stay in it. I saw this red candle going back down and I says, oh, this is a false breakout. Let me just bail out of this. And we never actually hit that stop loss until the following candle. Would that have resulted in more loss? It would have. But that's what the rules are. That's what I was supposed to do when I took this trade. I was supposed to wait until I hit my mental stop loss and then bail out. I didn't do that. I bailed out right about there, which is still within the range of where I'm supposed to stay in the position. Now, we would have hit the stop loss anyway. It would have happened, and that's without a doubt. So we either would have gotten out here or we would have gotten out down there. But either way, we were getting out with a loss. It just so happens I made a conscious decision that this was looking weak. Let me get out of this. And it happened to be above that stop loss. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Did I follow the strategy? Did I follow the plan I set in place before taking the trade? No, I didn't. Did I have good reason for saying I was going to bail out? Kind of. Yeah, I would say so. But at the same time, I'm a little bit stuck on it because I didn't follow the strategy to a T. But anyway, so now we're going to go back into the charts. There's more trades that I made in this particular session, and we're going to go back to the live footage to see how the rest of this panned out. But I think we'll look for a re-entry. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a pullback here. What is the 5 minute showing? The 5 minute showing some indecision. So if we are going to look like, see, now this here doesn't look too bad. This, we could look for an entry here. Looks like we had like a false breakout above that. We might look for a re-entry to get over this. There we go. So let's go there. And let's see what happens. So we'll bail out at this 22 mark. And we're in at 2069. There's 2084. So let's lower the count here. And where were we in? 2069. I want to push up a little bit more. Sell a little bit right there. Come on, sell it. All right, let's sell. No, couldn't get out. Stop loss is right under this. So if we dip down, we got to bail out at about 20, I suppose. See if we're going to hit that. Sucks that we didn't get a fill there. I really wanted to get a fill. The only thing keeping us in is our stop loss. Lots and lots of movement here. I don't want to sell on the bid there because we're going to wind up selling for a loss. There's just too big of a spread. That's why we didn't fill. That's the problem. See, that's something I wasn't really watching. Now it's looking like it's kind of weak. So let's... I don't know. We didn't hit our stop loss. It is looking weak, but I think I'll hold out to my stop loss at 2020. It sucks because it's like I want to sell half or sell all. So it's like I got to hit this and then hit that if I'm going to get out. Or I just got to hit that if I want to take a little bit of profit out. But we seem to be holding this level here. We seem to be not breaking below this candle that we got in on. So that's good. Let's see if this one's going to let us go back up here. But I think we're going to probably push back down. I should probably get out of this. Let's see. See what it's going to do. I'm waiting for that stop loss or that profit target. I'd really rather have the profit target, but that's... All right, let's try there. Come on, fill it. See, the bid's not high enough for me to sell on the bid and take a profit. So the spread is too large. I have to sell on the ask. Yeah, it's looking a little bit weak. I want to see a good push up. But I don't know that we're going to get it. We got a lot of resistance right here at this level. And the bid's not coming up high enough. If I hit sell bid, it should fill instantly. It's like teasing me. It knows I'm sitting there, so it's not letting it go to that point. There we go. We got half of it out. That's a nice leg up there. So let's take another 250. Whoa, not 2,501. And let's sell that there. We got a lot of really good volume coming in as it's pushing up. And now we could sell on the bid and get the rest of our position out instantly. Let this keep pushing up. We've got 500 shares. We're long 500, looking to get another 250 out of it. There's another 250 coming out. See what this is going to do. Now, at this point, I'm not in a hurry to get the rest out. We're pushing up a little more. 22 is a pretty good level. That's a huge topping tail, though. Let's put the rest right there, and let's see what's going to happen. We might not get it here. We might be pushing back down. So let's cancel that, and let's just sell it on the bid, and let's get out of the position. There we go. All right, so we're out. So that was good. It wasn't as quick as the other ones. That was one of the longer trades of this entire series so far, but I'm not upset about the way it went. We took an entry. I was very happy with it. So we got in right around here, and then we just relied on our stop loss, which was set right at the bottom of that candle. 220, it was $20.20 is what we had said. And that's right here at the bottom. If we zoom in a little closer, this is the candle here, right? This candle bottomed it opened at $20.23. So 2020 being stop loss is the perfect spot. And we have all of this indecision, right? It wasn't ready to shoot up yet, but we got in right here. And now I could have easily panic sold through here, but sticking to the strategy, right? We never came down. We looked at the very bottom of that tail, 2025, right about in there. So that never hit our stop loss. So we stayed in, which was the right thing to do. and we caught a little bit more of a push up, and we saw what was our total profit for the day. So the total profit and loss there looks like $530. I mean, that's good. That's a good trade. We might be able to play the break of 22 here, but we've got decreasing volume here on these candles. A lot of topping tails on them too. Topping tail here, topping tail here, here, here. The only thing that makes me nervous is this right here. So there's the break of 22. Can we break that candle? We did. But there's no pullback, so it's pushing up and volume is increasing. But I don't think we have as good of an entry there because we had this, and now we're halfway through a move. So this is just chasing it at this point. And we don't really have an actual pullback. You know, we don't have a pullback with consolidate. I guess this is a pullback here technically, and then consolidating, and then we broke up. And I'm sure this is probably a pattern of some kind. I've got to look into that a little more. But we are just continuing the same move, right? It's a continuation of the same move up. We haven't had a single candle actually make a new low yet. Technically speaking, if we were still holding our original position here, we don't have any candles that made a new low. So we actually didn't get a solid sell signal yet. We could have still been riding this thing up. But we were in and we had some profit on that particular trade. And it looked a little weak right here. So we took it out. And I'm not upset about that. That's okay. I'm good with that. Especially when you have a topping tail like this, that I know can be a sign of weakness, this big red candle. But technically speaking, right, the strategy is, right, your exit is going to be the first candle to make a new low from the previous candle. And I'm not seeing where we had that at all because we got in right here and we came up. So the low was right at the same level, just a hair higher. And then this candle came up. Again, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, all the way up. We still haven't seen it. And now we're pushing up. We're pushing on 23. We might even go to 25 on this. I mean, who knows? This thing is really going. Great move. But we saw that little bit of weakness. So I'm not upset about getting out. I'm totally okay with it. And at this point, you know, we could chase it. Really need to see that pullback to see if it's going to take another leg. Just look at that 5 minute, though. We're about to break through the pre-market high. So this is that pre-market high. Zooming out on this is 24. We're about to push through that. So let's see if it does it. This will be really cool. As soon as it does, it'll move this high over here. I'm wondering if we're going to see that pullback here. And then it's going to test that again. And then if it tests that again and it pushes its way through, that could be really, really interesting. I am running short on time here because I have an appointment I got to get to in 13 minutes. Which really, really sucks. We'll see. We'll see if this happens quick enough that we get an opportunity. So there's that low. There's that candle making a new low. So this would have been our exit, you know, from the original position. Our technical exit would have been right here at 2209. So that's it. At that point, we ran out of time. I did have an obligation I had to get to at 10 a.m., so I wasn't able to continue trading very much longer. I did continue to watch the charts. We didn't get any additional entries, or at least one that I thought I'd have time to sit through and see it out for. So that was the end of the day. And today was the first day that we really struggled with this one particular problem, which is the spreads being really, really large. So as you saw a few times, I did try to get in and I did try to sell the positions, and I wasn't able to get in and out too quickly. And that's because of the type of orders I was submitting. I was trying to buy on the ask and sell on the ask, and then I wound up selling that very last portion of the position on the bid just to get out of it instantly. At certain point in times, there was a situation where I could have sold on the ask and made a profit, or if I sold on the bid, I would have actually lost money. So the spreads being as wide as they were, about 20 cents at any given time, made a huge difference in how the trade was going to actually pan out. So that's something I got to do a little more research on, figure out a strategy for how do I deal with it, or maybe I just don't trade them when I notice that the bid and the ask spread is so large. But obviously that's going to slim down my opportunities even more. So I'm going to do some research and I'm going to figure out if there's a strategy that I can implement to try to get around that or handle it a little bit better than I did today. But either way, I'm totally happy with the way the day turned out, even though it was a red day overall. So I'm going to take you into the spreadsheet. Let's take a look. So I've updated this and I've actually got all the trades from today. So here's the very first position. You saw my recap on that just a little bit earlier, where we got in with 1,000 shares at 21.10, just barely before the market opened at 9.29. And then we wound up selling for a loss at 20.33 for a negative profit or a loss of $770. But then we got back in We saw an entry at 937. We got in with we saw it at 932 for 1,000 shares at 2069. Wound up holding and selling the first 500 at 937, got out at 2095. And then we sold another 250 shares at 937.56 for 21.57, a little more profit, and we got a little bit more of a push up. And then it started showing quite a bit of weakness. So we wound up selling on the bid here after attempting to sell on the ask, and it didn't fill. We wound up selling on the bid the remaining 250 shares for 21.41. And if you want a copy of this sheet, a blank one that you can edit and you can use, you can get it from down in the description. I had a few people ask me for it, so just look for the link down there and you can get it for free. So all in all, this trade here wound up with a net loss of $770. These trades down here wound up with a profit of $530. So when we combine those together, we wound up with a net loss of $240, making this our first red day. The very last day of the week 2, the day after 4th of July. So I'm not super unhappy about that by any stretch. I'm unhappy we had a red day, but of course that's always going to happen. It's inevitable that you're going to have a red day, and I understand that, and that's totally fine. I'm cool with it. So all in all, our portfolio is still up. It's up by about 10.5%, and I'm super content with that. I understand there's going to be red days, there's going to be red weeks. You're never going to be green all the time, especially the day after a holiday. I guess these weeks can be kind of spotty. We really didn't see any other opportunities during this week. I wasn't able to trade Wednesday, and obviously Thursday, the 4th of July, was a holiday, so the market was closed, and we just didn't see any opportunities on Monday or Tuesday. So we sat in here and we watched, and you can go look at the replays from those, the recaps. Those videos are uploaded on the channel, and there just wasn't any opportunities. I went through my entire thought process. We had some things that we were watching, but we didn't have any opportunities to take advantage of. So, and I'm okay with that too. There's going to be some days where we're going to have green days, we're going to have some red days, we're going to have some flat days where there's just no trades whatsoever. Totally good with all of it. It's all part of the journey. Really, what I'm focused on the most is just having an overall steady increase in the portfolio value, and hopefully that'll give me the confidence to go ahead and fund an account so we can start trading with some real money and see what happens then. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked this video and you see value in this series, definitely subscribe. I'm going to be uploading every single day I trade, so you guys can see exactly what happens in full transparency. Every single thing that I'm doing, every decision I'm making, every thought that I'm having, I'm going to be documenting all of it here on this channel for you to watch. So hopefully we can see me go from where I am now to that professional that I want to become, and we'll see if that actually happens. And if you liked this video or you gained value from this video, feel free to drop a like on it. I would appreciate that, and feel free to leave a comment down below as well. I'm trying to respond to everybody. I don't have a ton of people commenting right now, so it's pretty easy to do, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.